dark magic. It is feared in every corner of the wizarding world and Middle-earth alike, not simply for what it does, but for what it reveals. The deepest hunger for power, the defiance of death, the unraveling of the soul. From the darkest dungeons beneath Hogwarts to the scorched plains of Mordor, dark magic leaves behind one thing: corruption. In the world of Harry Potter, dark magic is not merely illegal, it is transformative. It warps not only the body, but the soul. And in the Lord of the Rings, it is not simply a spell or curse, it is a force that rewrites the nature of being. In both stories, it seduces, it tempts, and it ultimately consumes. But where did it begin? Who were the first to wield it, and why? Was it born from evil, or from ambition, fear, and the desperate desire to shape destiny? This is the origin of dark magic. From Herpo the Foul to Tom Riddle, from Morgoth Boglear to Sauron the Deceiver. We'll explore how these two universes mirror each other. How dark magic is not just power misused, but the shadow of creation itself. Welcome to the Forgotten Mage. Long before Hogwarts was built, before the founding of the Four Houses, there lived a wizard whose name would echo in dread for centuries: Herpo the Foul. A practitioner of the dark arts in ancient Greece, Herpo is credited, or cursed, as the creator of the first Horcrux. His legacy is not just that of a dark wizard, but of a sorcerer who opened a door no one had dared touch before. To split one's soul is to defy nature. Murder is the catalyst, but the ritual, known only to a few, severs the soul and anchors it to the world of the living. Herpo's purpose? Immortality. To become deathless, even at the cost of his humanity. He was also the first known wizard to breed a basilisk, a serpent of such lethal power it could kill with a glance. Herpo's obsession with snakes, death, and the soul would echo centuries later in the bloodline of Salazar Slytherin and in Tom Riddle himself. At Hogwarts, the study of the dark arts was forbidden, but never fully erased. Even in Dumbledore's time, the Room of Requirement housed cursed artifacts, forbidden books, and items hidden away for centuries. The presence of dark magic in Hogwarts history shows a difficult truth. Even among the wise, its lure is impossible to ignore. And Voldemort? He didn't invent the darkness. He perfected it. By the age of 16, he had created his first Horcrux. By the time of his first downfall, he had 7. Herpo the Foul laid the blueprint. Voldemort followed it to its horrific conclusion. Voldemort, or Tom Marvolo Riddle, was not born evil. He was born unwanted, orphaned, abandoned, and already exhibiting signs of magical ability. Riddle's early life was marked by control, cruelty, and curiosity. But it was at Hogwarts that he found his true calling to master death. Unlike Herpo, Voldemort wasn't just pursuing immortality. He wanted dominion, control over life, over fear, over time itself. His magic went beyond the unforgivable curses, though he mastered all 3. It was about permanence, about becoming legend. The Horcruxes he created weren't just tools, they were shrines to his ego, each one a talisman that preserved a piece of his soul, but also a symbol of conquest. The diary that could possess a girl, the locket that tortured the spirit, the ring that defiled his ancestry. Voldemort's genius lay in turning ancient, obscure magic into something systematic, calculated, weaponized. He combined manipulation, ritual, fear, and propaganda to build a new empire of terror. But he also made a critical mistake. He misunderstood the very thing he sought to master. He thought power was eternal, that love was weakness, that fear would grant loyalty. In the end, his Horcruxes made him less human, less whole, and ultimately less powerful. Voldemort is the final chapter in a dark magical lineage that began with Herpo. But he also shows us the limits of that power. Dark magic may extend life, corrupt others, and spread terror, but it cannot command the soul. Not truly. Long before Sauron, long before the forging of the rings, there was Melkor, later known as Morgoth. He was one of the Ainur, angelic beings created by Eru Ilúvatar, the godlike creator of Tolkien's universe. While the other Ainur joined in harmony to sing the world into being, Morgoth wove discord into the music. Dark magic in Middle-earth is not a separate system. It is a perversion of the original divine song. Morgoth's fall was not due to a thirst for knowledge. It was a hunger for control. He wanted to create, but not through harmony. He wanted to dominate. He poured his essence into Arda itself, corrupting the very foundation of the world. Mountains rose in violence, beasts twisted into monsters, and the spirits of fire, the Balrogs, were turned to his will. Morgoth's greatest act of dark sorcery was the creation of creatures that did not belong in the original plan. Orcs from elves, trolls, dragons, twisting what was once pure. That is the essence of his magic. And like Herpo the Foul, Morgoth left behind a legacy, a shadow that could never be fully lifted. His power was eventually broken, but his malice became part of the world's fabric. Evil didn't vanish. It waited. Sauron was Morgoth's lieutenant, but unlike his master, Sauron was a master of order and subtlety. While Morgoth burned with pride, Sauron seduced with structure. He understood that domination was more effective through temptation than fear. His greatest creation, the One Ring. Forged in secret within the fires of Mount Doom, the ring was not simply a magical object. It was a vessel, a container for a massive portion of Sauron's own power, just like a Horcrux. The ring's magic is dark, not only for what it can do, but for what it demands. It offers invisibility, yes, but more than that, it offers power, influence, the ability to control others. It corrupts the bearer by feeding off their desires. Gollum is twisted by it. Boromir is tempted. Even Gandalf and Galadriel fear it. This is dark magic in its purest form, power that consumes. Like Voldemort, Sauron seeks to conquer death in a way. He avoids it by tying his spirit to the ring. As long as it survives, so does he. But like all dark magic, this extension comes at a cost, a loss of form, of freedom, of self. Sauron, once beautiful and wise, becomes a formless eye, watching, searching, bound to his own creation. The ring, like a Horcrux, is both key and curse. If you were given the chance to wield dark magic, to cheat death or rule others, would you take it? Or would you destroy it? Let me know in the comments below. In both Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings, dark magic is not just a collection of sinister spells. It is a philosophy. It is about bending the world to your will, breaking the natural order. It's not a tool, it's a world view. Morgoth believed he could reshape creation. Voldemort believed he could conquer death. Both failed because they misunderstood the balance of their worlds. In Middle-earth, dark magic is always tied to corruption of what is pure. The elves are immortal, but Morgoth corrupts them into orcs. The Silmarils are beautiful, but they spark war. The ring is masterful, but it unravels its bearer. In the wizarding world, dark magic is about intention and impact. The unforgivable curses require desire. You must want to kill, to torture, to control. And with each use, you lose something of yourself. Ultimately, both worlds teach the same truth. Dark magic isn't just dangerous because of what it can do. It's dangerous because of what it asks of you. It asks you to surrender compassion, to treat others as objects, to pursue power over connection, and that's why dark magic always fails. Not because it's weak, but because it's hollow. Sauron and Voldemort. Two names from two different worlds. Yet their paths mirror one another. Both began as brilliant, powerful beings. Both rejected the natural order. Both sought to bend the world to their vision. And both were ultimately undone not by greater power, but by the very thing they lacked: humility, compassion, and love. Dark magic in these stories isn't just fantasy. It's a metaphor, a warning, a reflection of the human desire to control the uncontrollable. Whether it's a ring, a curse, or a piece of your soul hidden in an object, the price of power is always the same: yourself. So the next time you hear a tale of a dark wizard or a dark lord, remember that their story is also ours. Because every world, magical or not, has its Sauron and its Voldemort. But it also has its Frodo, its Harry, and in the end, it is not power, but courage that endures. If you enjoyed this dive into the dark corners of magic, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more magical lore every week. Thanks for watching. This is the Forgotten Mage.